Hi guys, I'm Linda.
And I'm Vicky.
And we are Partners in Crime. So first we're going to do our wine segment. I'm going to let Vicky do that because she is the one that purchased the wine.
And of course I would, because this is sangria and it's on the sweeter side. This is made by Barefoot. It's a pretty popular company. And it is just, I love it. I think it's so good, and it's supposed to be served chilled. And you should give it a try. It is made in the US of A. So one of our proud brands, and give it a try.
Yeah, so
called Barefoot. I hope you can see it.
Yes. I haven't tried it yet, so I'm going to try it for our glasses.
People were giving me instructions on how to drink wine, but I just don't, I'm not that skilled.
All right, so let's see. Barefoot Sangria. It is sweet. Just know that.
Very sweet.
I do like it. It's not as citrusy as some of the sangrias that people have or people make. So it's more, I would say, sometimes sangrias are really light and they're refreshing and all that kind of stuff. This is a little bit more bold, I guess. I don't know if bold's the word, but it's a little bit more, there's more to it, and I would say this is good. This probably would be good as like a mulled wine in heated up for the winter.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah, that's kind of what I taste, like a mulled cider or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of sangria. Some of them are more citrusy. This one is sweet.
Yeah.
And I don't know, more berry flavored, I guess.
Yes, like deeper flavors and not as crisp like the other.
Right.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good.
Might be good to, if you're somebody who likes to make like, I don't know, like I was going to say Slurpees, but that's not the right word.
Oh, slushies.
Slushies!
Yeah.
Thank you. And, this would be good for that.
A good slushie.
Good slushie.
Yep. All right, so we can recommend that for sure. What are we going to do today, Vicki? What are we going to talk about?
Well, just when you think there's nothing to talk about with Lori and Chad and that whole saga.
Yeah.
Things happen pretty much on a daily basis. So I thought we could catch up on what came out and what's new with them.
Okay.
And there were several motions that have been filed by their attorneys, and we could go over them.
Yes.
We'll start with Chad Daybell. His lawyer, Pryor, filed a motion actually opposing to the joinder of combining their cases to make one trial.
Yeah.
And that motion was filed by the prosecution. So Pryor and Chad are opposed to it.
Okay.
Which is pretty interesting. So maybe there is trouble in paradise now. I'm not really sure. But his reasoning for not wanting to join the cases together is that there could be inconsistent theories for her defense and his defense.
Okay.
To me, it sounds like, and I don't know this for sure, it's just my opinion, that they're getting ready to point fingers at Lori and Alex, and where Chad can say, I know nothing. I don't know anything about this.
Okay.
I didn't know that the kids were buried in my backyard. So that's basically the main filing.
Motion, yeah.
Motion, I can't think today.
That's okay. That's why I'm here. I always have the right word.
Yeah, she's my brain.
I don't.
But anyway, the other thing Pryor filed was for a change of venue. He doesn't feel that they can get a fair trial in the county where they are. So
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense anyway. It's all over the place.
Yeah,
They're gonna know regardless of the county.
And they can't really just say that. They have to support these motions with facts.
Right.
And I don't know how he's gonna do that.
Yeah.
The other interesting information is about Lori. And what's really interesting is they've agreed to having a combined trial.
Yeah, she's all for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, this was a motion filed by the prosecution to join their cases together. And it could be that Mr. Means, who is Lori's attorney, just wants to ride on the defense.
coattails.
Right, the coattails of Mr. Pryor.
Can I interject?
Yeah.
I also was watching Court TV and they had some other theories about that. Their theories are that Chad is more imposing, is that the word, than Lori is. So she could sit there next to him looking like the dutiful wife, and that she just did what Chad wanted. She believed in him. He could look like the bad guy and Lori look like the little wife that's just following her husband's orders. And they think that might be a big part of why they're doing that.
Could be.
Who knows?
Could be.
Yeah.
And I know Ashley Benfield, is it?
Banfield, yes.
She had also her opinion is that Lori may not have known that the kids were there based on the phone call, the jailhouse phone call that they had.
Yes.
Where she was saying, what? The kids are, no, she didn't say the kids. She just said they're doing what? She didn't.
In the house. She kept saying in the house.
Are they in the house or what are they looking for in the house? So, that her opinion is that could be Lori's attitude or, and my feeling is that she's just sly. She just knows what to say.
Yep, sly as a fox.
And how did she know to call at that moment?
Yeah. Hey, that's another thing too.
Right. So I think, she may have already had a conversation with Mr. Means about, hey, they're there. And
yeah, they do say she's playing a part from day one.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can just tell from her the way she's very meek and mild when she speaks and that sort of thing. Because we've seen other videos where she's not meek and mild. So,
Well, she's a liar.
I do want to read Chanley Painter from from Court TV also said the Idaho Rule of Criminal Procedure says that defendants can be joined if they are alleged to have Defendants can be joined if they are alleged to have participated in the same act or transaction or in the set of acts or transactions constituting an offense or offenses. All of the defendants need not be charged in each count. So that what that means is that they can be tried together because they're being charged with the same crime. So let's say there's a bank robbery. You have two people that are robbing the bank. They can be tried together because you have the two people robbing the bank at the same time. That's kind of my take on it. And then, but you could have one of those defendants that shot someone and the other one didn't, so there would be an additional charge for the person that shot.
Right.
So all of it doesn't have to be every charge has to be on both parties.
And they are at this point.
Yeah.
They are. So, and it makes sense, and I'm sure it will to, the state of Idaho, because it'll save them a lot of money.
Yeah.
And it's, it's just judicially the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
It's the same witnesses, it's the same charges, it's just gonna make more sense, and I would be surprised if they agreed not to do it.
Yeah, any county in the country would probably do the same thing. So this isn't specific to
Idaho.
this case.
Right, and,
Yeah.
and again, they have, and also for Lori, they also requested a change of venue.
Okay. Again, does it really make a difference?
No, and I don't think they're gonna, well, they might, I don't know. They might, because they're not gonna give them anything else.
Yeah.
So they might do that.
Right.
And there also was a motion filed for, and I'm surprised they had to do this, but for them to wear street clothes.
Yes.
So, and I guess that's a psychological thing.
Maybe. Yeah.
If they're in prison outfits, makes them look more guilty, or jailhouse outfits.
Yeah, I would agree.
So
That's
think that's probably where the attorneys are coming from for that.
Yeah.
And then the court date for Lori was moved up.
Yes.
It was moved up to March 22nd. Mm-hmm. Basically, March 22nd to April 2nd. There was no reason given as to why they did that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it doesn't matter if they join the case.
Right.
Because that'll go away.
Yes.
They'll have to come up with
we'll have
date.
new dates once they decide that. Once the judge decides if they will join them together.
Right. And the other thing is, and I keep harping on this, where are the murder charges?
Just like everyone else out there, we hear that a lot from.
And I was listening to Scott Wright, and he basically said it could be that the prosecution is going with what they have. They have enough evidence and enough facts to support the charges that they have right now. To do a murder charge, they need evidence of someone coming forward that was aware of it to say, I know they did it.
Right.
And even if they did that, they'd have to have the facts behind that person saying that.
Like fingerprints or some
Something.
DNA or something like that. Yeah.
They have to prove who actually killed the kids.
And
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, and they also have to prove that they knew they were put in the backyard. That's another thing that Scott was talking about.
Right. They have to have knowledge of the crime, and that goes with knowing who did it, knowing that they knew that the kids were put in the backyard. And Scott gave a good example when he said, suppose you gave your kids the car, and your kids were out having a party, having fun, and they, had their friends in the car, and you took the car back, and the next day you get stopped by police. And the police said, do you mind if we, do a quick search of your car? Something seems suspicious. Well, he had a dog. So the dog was carrying on, and the dog walked around the car and alerted him that something was going on inside the car, and they found drugs in the car. Well, he didn't know anything about the drugs being in his car.
Yeah.
So that's the analogy he used.
Right. So you can't charge the parent
Right, because
with that because
the
that
parent didn't
was
know.
not something that was put there by them knowingly. They didn't knowingly know that was there.
Exactly. So
there's a lot more to it, and I guess we should just realize that the lawyers and prosecutors and defense lawyers and stuff, well, probably the prosecutors at this point, know what they need, and if they don't have it, they don't want to
because
move forward with it.
Because they know they need. They're trying to avoid reasonable doubt.
Yes.
And with what they have, apparently they can't. So, unfortunately, that's the way our
And there have
system
been
is.
plenty of trials where people have gotten away with reasonable doubt.
Right.
And you can't be tried again for the same crimes once you are acquitted. it's double jeopardy, so
That's right. But they can bring murder charges later.
they can, yes.
So maybe at some point that will happen. But it doesn't seem like it's going to happen.
They want to do what they know. They want to move forward with what they feel like they can win with.
Right, what they can at least get them on now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is it. So, I know I'm the first one to keep yelling about where are the murder charges, and having that explanation does make sense.
Yeah. When you kind of somebody explains it to you in layman's terms, and in another scenario, you kind of understand.
Right. So, that's basically the only updates I have on Chad.
Yep, that's all I have too. Again, Chad will look like the dominant individual if they put those two together. So that's why Chad's lawyer is saying no.
Right.
Lori's lawyer, on the other hand, she'll look like the subservient wife to Chad. That looks good. That's why Mark Means wants her next to him in court.
Could be.
So, I mean, that's what I have gathered from everything that I've watched.
Again, just asking for that to happen to keep it apart, they have to have the facts. They have to be able to support their motions. They just can't throw it out there.
Right.
They have to be able to support it so that a judge can make a fair evaluation.
Yeah, and the prosecutor's arguments are same charges, same witnesses, same evidence. It just makes sense. So when I did, and you watch court TV as well, they were leaning towards the fact that the judge will probably say that they can be tried together. So, yeah.
Right. And I was watching some other cases where people were tried together. And the same kind of thing. They both had the same charges, and separately they have felony counts, but they're charged together. I mean, tried together. So, and one of them was a really sad case about a child abuse, and the little kid passed away. And the mother and father were both charged. Who was actually responsible for that? But they were both charged and tried together.
Was one charged with more charges or worse charges than the other? Like, were their charges exactly the same?
The charges were the same.
And did they both get a guilty verdict?
I don't know. I didn't hear that part yet.
Okay.
I believe the trial did happen, but it's recent.
Okay.
And there are a lot of charges like abuse of a corpse.
Yeah.
And, just very, very sad.
Yeah, when you do a crime, there's not just one charge that they can put on you.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So.
Yeah.
All right, so I guess that's the update for wonderful Chad and Lori.
And every day, more information comes out. So we will keep on that and inform you when we know.
For sure. All right. Until next time, bye.